Hey everybody, what's up? Another episode of The Lazy Gamer with your host. Well, you know who I am, so... Okay, you see that I'm standing in front of my TV set, and sorry for the slight green screen because this is a Nintendo 3DS camera and these things are screwed up for some reason. Even after all the stinking firmware updates, the camera's still fucked up. Anyways, today's episode, we get to look at a piece of rare Sega hardware. You already know what it is, so without further ado, voila. That's right. I've got one. I have worked on the unit a little bit already. First things first, there's a barrel lock that typically belongs here that I've removed, and I got rid of the original wire coming out of here and put this button in place of it, just to make it a little easier. Future plans include to fill these holes in and seal them up, as well as the two slots back here, there, as well as, and then repaint the whole thing, cover over the paint and stuff like we got there, and it'll be a sweet looking little unit. We'll probably paint it a semi-gloss black, or I don't know. What color black do y'all think I should paint it? Give me a comment or something. Flat, semi, or full gloss black. Okay, so we got her plugged into the expansion port. We've got the dummy cart in with the cable. I've got 5 Sonic games in. You'll notice I've got only 5 in, and this one's sitting down here, because for some reason this thing does not like games that have saving functions built in like this. It has a SRAM for saving, and if I start it up in the first slot where Sonic 1 is, it'll start and play for about 20 seconds before the game freezes. So I guess that's because this game is 1994 and this device is 1989, before they really implemented the saving feature in games. So I'm going to say that's the problem, I guess. So let's start her up. First one, again sorry for the green screen. And I just kicked the power button on my Xbox. It's down here on the floor. Yay! Sonic 1. Let's switch the game. Go to Sonic 2. Let's go to Sonic and Knuckles game now. And Sonic Spinball. And finally, Sonic 3D Blast. Sega! So, there you go. That's the basic system. How it works. Now, there's not very much information about this system out there on the internet, but since I have opened it up and looked into it, I can tell you a little bit about it, what I do know so far. Now, let's go back to Sonic 1. I'm sure you'd rather hear that noise in the background anyway. You know what? Screw the volume. Okay, where was I? Yes. How this system works. Well, from as far as I can tell, this dummy cartridge, you'd think that the dummy cartridge is what carries the game data over and into the console. That's what I thought at first too. But I have been in many a Sega game cartridge, and frankly, even the games that do not have any save feature in them, like Sonic 1 for example, they have a 40-pin EEPROM, electronically erasable, programmable read-only memory chip. And they are 40 pins. Some of them 42. So it has 40 pins connecting to the Sega Genesis. This wire here only has 24 wires in it, so it can't be carrying all the address lines to the Sega. This is where the expansion connector that's right down here comes in. It helps carry some of the address lines across to there. Now I thought at first that the expansion connector here just simply carried the power that runs this device, because if you look back here, it's kind of hard to see. Damn darkness. But there is no power cable back here. Let's see. Yeah. Come on. There's no extra cables coming off it. Just the one cable to the dummy cart and that's it. It gets all its power from the Genesis side of things. So I thought at first that maybe the expansion connector just carried the power to the unit to run the switching circuit and the signal that resets the console when you switch games. So that's what this button does. It doesn't turn the system off. It simply does I think a hard reset, and when it does the hard reset it also switches to the next bank. Because the soft reset just resets the software, but a hard reset isn't powering the chips down, but it's basically dumping the system RAM, I think. And that's how I think the system works without examining it too deeply. Because, I mean, you can just hit the standard reset button and it'll just reset the game that's loaded. See, it works just like normal. But then, of course, you hit this button and it... Well, maybe it does cut the power. Well, no, I don't think it cuts power. Because if you'll notice, the light doesn't blink as I push the switcher button. So yeah, I'm switching it. You can hear me, but it's not blinking the power light, so... Yeah, like I said, I think it's just simply doing a hard reset of the system as it switches the game. Dumping the system memory, and in that time that the memory is empty, for that split second it switches to the next bank. Because it's got a buttload of chips in it right down here, 3 or 4 types of chips. And one other thing that this console has that I'm not sure about is a switch on the back here. I'm sure you saw it right down here. Inside here, by the switch, are the words on and off for the switch. Right now I've got it in the off position. And there's also, right down here, that little white spot there. It's hard to see. That little white spot next to my finger is a little potentiometer. Turns about half around. I thought at first the switch and the pot may have been part of a timer system for auto switching the games, you know, for when it's in the store kiosk. Maybe some of them didn't like them having the button to push. They wanted to set a certain time limit for games demonstrations. But I have not been able to get it to work yet. I have adjusted the pot in many different settings, and I've let it run about 15 minutes each time, and I've never seen it automatically switch the game yet. So if anybody knows anything more about what I'm saying, if it's true or not, or even what the hell this thing is, if you could let me know, thank you. If you... Well, you can either send me a message here, reply, comment, whatever, or you can jump onto Assembler Game Forums if you're a member there. My username is SonicDude10. Just like my YouTube username, but skip the mega. You can look me up there, send me a message about it, blah blah blah. So, there we go. DS-16. Hopefully what I've said about it is the right information. If not, feel free to correct me, because this is what I've figured out or think is what's happening. So, I don't know. Anyways, 9-minute video, that should be plenty. Peace out, folks.